if I removed the segment about COVID from today's GRA episode, but it was clipped.
In the beginning of the pandemic, you were of the opinion that this was from a natural spillover.
Boys, let's fucking go. We're eating good today, boys. Wait, this is an older episode, isn't it? Yeah, this is the older Joe Rogan. No, this is not today.
17 months, let's go.
Oh, dude, you fucking wait, what? No shot. It is today?
I got 250
For a bit today, Spotify removed Joe's podcast? That's the new studio?
In the beginning of the pandemic, you were of the opinion that this was from a natural spillover. From the origin of SARS-CoV-2 was most likely from an animal that it spilled over into human beings. Do you still have that opinion?
Well, again, let me clarify what I said and have maintained all along, because I too have concerns about the potential for what we call gain of function or clearly biosecurity of laboratories leaking out of labs. I have not seen any evidence at all that would support that, number one, this was a man-made virus. Absolutely none. Zero.
No evidence that would support that it is a man-made virus?
None whatsoever. And I, again, with my limited expertise in viral genetics, I believe the people who I work with. Now, the question is, could it, however, been in that lab and spilled out because somebody got infected, there was a lab accident, which surely can happen. And again, we don't have any conclusive evidence that that happened. I think even anecdotal evidence we've had has been very short.
Let's go, dude. Let's fucking go. Let's fucking go, Michael Oster base, dude. Michael Oster, hold my dick. Stay strong, Michael. Stay strong. You are doing this for America, okay? You are doing this for America, my friend. Finally, holy fuck, dude. I wonder why Spotify removed this. Wait for it, Pepela. Uh-oh. Really?
She was a girl.
This is terrifying.
I make it any more obvious.
Joe Rogan's never having this guy back on? Okay, well. Okay, all right, bro. Okay, well, listen. We'll see what happens.
Short, but I'm the first one to say, I wish.
Do you know who this guy is?
No, I don't know.
So Michael Osterholm is a famous epidemiologist, okay? I think he's an epidemiologist, right? I mean, he's like a guy who you go to. He is a scientist that you go to for public health measures. I think he's an epidemiologist, but maybe he might be he is the guy. He's on CNN a lot. Well, that doesn't really mean anything. It's more important that I think he is an epidemiologist and not like a virologist or anything. But anyway, so Michael Osterholm went on the Joe Rogan Experience when COVID first popped off, like in 2020. Okay.
We're ready to get
and he was ringing the alarm bells. I would go so far as say like his take originally, like his warning about COVID originally was one of the more formative podcasts he was on 2 years ago. 2 years ago, he was on Joe Rogan Experience before even CNN was taking it fucking seriously. Like Joe Rogan had this man on ahead of the curve. They talked about vaccines. Joe famously fucking said, people are so stupid for not getting vaccinated. What the fuck is wrong with them? All this shit, right? And after that, he never had him on again. Michael Osterholm then went on to and is now a part of the Joe Biden administration's pandemic response team. Like he is a well-credentialed, adequately credentialed, actual fucking scientist, like a relevant scientist on the matter, and not like some fucking quack doctor shithead, okay? Like the ones that Joe has had thus far. So this is the reason why I think this is awesome. Like the reason why I think that Joe having him on is fucking dope is because this is an actual fucking scientist on the matter and not just some fucking crank. Okay. One of the things he constantly also said was that at the top of the hour, there's a 60-second ad break. And the vaccine towards that 60-second ad break is a $5 a month subscription. But if you don't have $5, he always says you can also use the Twitch Prime. It's like taking money away from Jeff Bezos and giving it to your favorite leftist, socialist content creator, HasanAbi, HasanAbi Piker. Or if you're lucky, it's like herd immunity. But if you're lucky, you know, you can get gifted a sub as well. Here's the 1 minute ad break now. Coming to you right now. Let's watch the rest of this.
A much more exhaustive investigation into what happened at that laboratory, which much more transparency. I don't think we've had that kind of a transparent investigation yet to see, were there sick people at that time? Because if it was going to spread out into the population, there would be sick people. On the other hand, I'm not surprised that it might have emerged in Wuhan, because here's an area of over 40 million people living in that whole area, for which their food sources come from hundreds to up to 1,000 miles away, of which the open markets there are ripe with the kind of animals that very well could have brought the virus there. And when you look now at the ease at which this virus goes between animals and humans.
Bro, I got it. Dave Chappelle got another fucking Netflix deal. Like, it's just, I don't care. 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 Holy fuck. You have informed me, my friend. What happened? Did you come in here just to let me know? What do you want me to do about it? That's not surprising. I don't care. Please stop spamming.
Humans, at least, initially, or humans are back to animals. It's not surprising that it might have emerged there. And so I'm still open to the fact that, was it a laboratory accident? I don't have any reason to believe it was an intentional one. I know it was, based on everything we have, it was man-made.
But I don't think anybody thinks it's an intentional release, do they?
No, well, some people have. No, some people think...
Well, I shouldn't say anybody. Some people believe the world's flat, right?
That's absolutely true, too. That's absolutely true, too. So I think, but I think that it is fair to say that there still remains this question, could have it leaked out of that lab? And I continue to say, I wish we would have an exhaustive, comprehensive investigation which the Chinese government would agree to.
Is that part of the problem, a lack of transparency?
I think it is, but let me paint a picture here that also helps explain the situation.
Bro, Nicki Minaj is trying to sell her fucking album with an anti-vax. Nicki Minaj is currently trying to sell her new album or whatever, or her new song with a fucking anti-vax tweet. What is happening, dude? Good job, guys. You just convinced more people to not get the vaccine you want them to get. Yay. Hashtag do we have a problem? Hashtag bussin'. Why the fuck won't you just get off my testicles? Ratio her again? No, dude. I will never respond to Nicki Minaj ever again. I've learned my fucking lesson. Are you about to be racist again? Yeah, dude. Yeah, exactly. I will never, dude. Her fucking terrorist fan base has absolutely destroyed my will to live, my will to ever fucking interact with her. Her fan base, Barbs are fucking terrorists, dude. Straight up. Oh, this is what the Philadelphia Public Health said. My cousin assured I won't get the vaccine. Nothing like watching someone speak confidently about something they know nothing about. Philadelphia Public Health. Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, no. Now, because of y'all, I'm not getting the vax. Y'all too sus for me. Okay, Tanya did not get the vaccine for almost 2 years now, okay? I don't think you were going to get it.
I got the vaccine. I've just been fucking nonstop.
To be honest, I don't really like the public health agency being snarky like this and dunking for internet points.
As soon as I got the vaccine, I was getting laid night after night.
Hell yeah.
That's what the vaccine does. Makes you be able to go out and have sex without worrying about getting COVID.
Do it. Your stands are by your side. We're at the ready, Commander. Dude, y'all fucking left me out to die. My stands left me to die. And the Barbs came for me
F's in the chat
and said I was fucking racist. Okay.
Haas twit.
It's not worth it. Listen, the Barbs have far reaching tentacles in every fucking community. Most importantly, Black Twitter, okay? It's just like you start You start dealing with Barbs, they immediately call you racist. They fucking clip everything they can to be like, he's racist. Look at this racist. And then Black Twitter is like, oh yeah, he is racist. This is another leftist white man who's way too comfortable with black people. I just don't want to go through that. I've been canceled with the fucking Porsche thing already. I don't want to do that. Oscord did ride hard for me though. What's your take on the origin of COVID? I don't know.
Thank you
there's
for
two
reminding me to
there's
give
two
you Bezos
theories.
monies.
Okay. One is zoonotic spread, which takes an incredibly long fucking time. It takes an incredibly long fucking time to figure out if it's actually regular zoonotic spread. Sometimes up to 10 years.
Can I trade
Okay.
these 3
Hoscord
kids
is
in for a
battle
ticket?
hardened. That's why. Hoscord is 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
The other, yeah, that's true. The other theory is that it was a lab leak, okay? An accidental lab leak. It really doesn't matter either, considering how people reacted. Motherfucker, we didn't leave you at the drive. We got called C words for defending your ass on Twitter Spaces for hours. Tried to hold the line. They were insane. Our forces were outnumbered. Yeah, they have, dude. The problem with the Barbs is that, like, not only are they a vast, like, they are a vast and powerful warring clan,
Awesome.
okay, but they're also crazy. Like, they just all are deranged, so they never stop. Like, they attack pretty much. They attack pretty much like Swerves do. You know what I mean? They just, like, never
That's the
stop.
baby Quirty was born.
And
A
in the
beautiful
war
and
of
healthy
attrition, it's like they're always going to win because they never stop. They will never, ever let go. Stop, you're doing it. You're giving them commentary. I mean, I have not said anything about Nicki Minaj other than the fact that she's trying to fucking promote her new song. That's funny. She's trying to promote her, death threats too, of course. I mean, they're just all, it's an entire fucking warring clan, warring faction full of berserkers.
Yeah. Say hi to Fiona.
You asked us to fight the Barbs. I ain't doing that shit.
I think HasanAbi stands are the funniest. They're fucking funny.
Let's go.
It's too late. You've said too much, and now the Barbs know. I'm sure someone in here is going to clip it. The Barbs will literally side with racists and Nazis to defend Nicki. It's so sad. Oh, 100%. 100%. I want to respond to this so bad.
Hello. Just wanted to express thanks again for rekindling the revolutionary spirit in so many, nurturing the most human desire to witness the triumph of the angelic wings of hope over the pus-soaked boot of human
What is this?
capital.
Philadelphia's
Have an
public health
amazing
account is
stream.
posting Nicki Minaj tweets for engagement. They're attempting to shame people for advising others to pray, be comfortable, and not be bullied. I've
2
never seen a
months, let's
vaccine
go.
trigger this amount of shaming and fear tactics. Have you? Hashtag do we have a problem? Oh my God. Bro, I've never met someone. I've never met someone who is like this fucking aware of being ratioed and
When they
gets
came
this
for
mad
Hasan,
about
I
being
said nothing
ratioed.
Because Keck 15 months Pogu high chat.
Maybe if you didn't ban most of the crazies, you could have fought back. I know, that's true. That's a problem. I yell at the crazy ones.
Austin hassle.
Oh, hassle to you too. Hassle. Look at that donation from 2 minutes ago, the $3 one.
Preparation for the imminent threat from the Barbs. Hoscord is sending Hos tweet 1,000 followers worth of lethal aid. Yeah, we need NATO. We
As
need
Mike
NATO
has
against the
left.
Barbs, dude. Barbs are like the USSR, okay? We need an alliance of like other stand communities to get together, like all the Minecrafters and shit to like join forces. You then decided to move quickly into K-pop people's
In
business. You wore
preparation
Host with
for
the fuck
imminent
out.
threat from
I've
the
never
Barbs,
tried LSD,
Discord is
person who's
sending haste
copied and pasted
1,000
that
followers
5
worth of
times.
lethal aid.
And I'm not a good drug person other than marijuana.
Do not interact with that tweet. Dude, it's so hard. I want it so bad. I want to so bad. I'm like shaking over here, dude. Okay, I'm like,
Do it, pussy.
Stop.
What are you, a bitch? What the fuck?
Do not give her the clout she wants. Nicki Minaj, arguably one of the most famous humans on the planet. Yeah, I'm definitely giving clout to
Hasan, don't do it. Don't do it.
We're surrounded by enemies. Why are you trying to start another war?
You need to just stay off her
I
testicles.
take it so shit because I have an immunocompromised son who I literally couldn't get vaccinated as a baby. And oh boy, did I catch shit for that from people who were too stupid to understand that I wasn't an anti-vaxxer.
I'm still neurodivergent.
I mean,
but
that's
no
the
longer
funniest part about it, though, is that, like, yes, if you are legitimately immunocompromised or like you have a reason, do you have like an actual medical reason why you can't take the vaccine? Those people are the biggest ride or die people for vaccines, because otherwise that same immunocompromised position is the reason why they need everyone to get herd immunity. All right.
Imagine a brand new virus emerged in the Caribbean. Okay, I mean, it came from nowhere. It might be a mosquito-borne something. Okay, where do you think they might find that virus first? Atlanta. Why Atlanta? Because it's it's the transportation hub for the Caribbean. And they have the sophisticated laboratories there, not even at the CDC. I'm just talking about universities, et cetera, clinicals. Imagine if that virus was found in Atlanta, a brand new virus. The assumption we made immediately, it came from the CDC. Because it's there, geographically there, it's in Atlanta, that has to be the source.
I see what you're saying.
And so if
Dude,
that
he's
was the
so
case,
good.
imagine the Russians and the Chinese saying, wait a minute, this was a lab leak out of CDC. We want to come and investigate. We're going to come in and see.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think the U.S. would just willy-nilly open up the lab
They
at the
pay
CDC to the
18.
Russians and the Chinese?
Right.
So in some ways, I'm not being sympathetic at all to the Chinese, because I think they are continuing to make the problem worse by not providing more transparency. But at the same time, if the same thing happened in the United States, I could see where we wouldn't just open up the CDC to everybody in the world to say, okay, come on in and look.
Right, but is the CDC doing game?
Wait, what the fuck?
Me and your 5 other.
It's actually a really good take.
God damn, that's a good take. Bro, I've literally mentioned this before. The reason why it's fucking Wuhan is because there's a virology institute there. Because it's a fucking city with, it's a big city with like universities.
But you're a communist, so we weren't sure if it was.
I've literally made that. I mean, I've never talked about Atlanta and the CDC, but like
It's
gain of function research on coronaviruses?
They're not.
They're not.
Also,
So if something
I watched
emerged
that
from
Don't Be
there
Weird to Hasan.
that wasn't something
Be
they
good,
were
chat,
working
be
on,
good.
that would probably not arouse the suspicion of the world. I think part of the problem with what's going on in Wuhan was that lab is a level 4 lab that was working on bat-borne coronaviruses.
Exactly. No, you're absolutely right about that. But at the same time, CDC might be working on a lot of the viruses that would emerge in the Caribbean. And they would have labs that were working in that, because some of their best expertise is on, for example, mosquito-borne viruses in there. So I'm merely pointing out that it's not just the fact that the Chinese have basically stonewalled this. They have. And unfortunately, I think that can be interpreted as, there's definitely guilt there.
Right.
I think some of it has to do with this issue where they just opened their lab up. I just wish they would. And let an independent group from around the world go in, examine all the records. Was there any evidence of illness around that time? Was there any unusual activity? The viruses they have, what they've self-reported, were not any that were close to this one in terms of actually, that actual virus was in the lab that was suddenly found in Wuhan. So I think it continues to be a major distraction.
Wasn't there recently a version of the virus that was discovered, a very early version of COVID-19 in one of the labs?
There's been a number of SARS-CoV-2-like viruses there, but again, this is out of my area of expertise.
it would not be an early version of COVID-19 discovered. It would be another SARS-CoV-2 virus variant. Because COVID-19 is a SARS-CoV-2, like that was covered in. Isn't that the reason why it would be like COVID-18, I guess, or COVID-17, but it never reached. It never fucking spread that much.
But the viral geneticists I know like viruses.
In one of the labs?
There's been a number of SARS-CoV-2-like viruses there, but again, this is out of my area of expertise. But the viral geneticists I know would say there surely is not the direct link yet that virus came from that virus in the lab. And so I think that, but that's the kind of thing we need to have the transparency on. And I wish we'd move on. I wish we'd move on then.
So the part of the issue is that there's just not enough data from them to make an accurate, honest, clear determination.
That's what I see. And I do see a virus that right now sure is very effective at moving between people to animals.
Right.
So it doesn't surprise me.
A lot of debate bros were defending you, especially on TikTok, and was very annoying and more harmful than
That
good.
could move from animals to humans.
Now, the people that are suspicious that this did come from some gain-of-function research, they point to that as an indicator that this is a virus that was at least cultivated in a laboratory, right?
Yeah, and I see no evidence of that. And let me just come back and add a context to this.
Okay.
I sat for a number of years on what was the newly established basic group inside of the federal government to look at biosafety and biosecurity work, okay, the national science group that did that. And, you know, for all the years from 2005 to 2012 that I was on that, I was one of the really outspoken people about my concern about doing influenza work in labs where they were trying to understand virus H5N1, a bird virus that occasionally infects humans, but could it one day become the next pandemic virus? And a group of researchers wanted to try to gin up that virus by passing it multiple times in ferrets and looking to see, can we predict when it might become readily transmissible between mammals, i.e. could infect humans? And my concern was all along, wait a minute, what happens if this gets out? What's the challenge? You could start the next flu pandemic. So I have always considered myself kind of the champion in a way, as amongst others, of looking at biosecurity as a really critical issue. So I come into this with the Wuhan experience feeling the same way. I think this is an important issue. I think it needs further discussion. But again, I don't see any evidence at this point that anyone has provided that shares that this is what happened. But I think we just need that transparency we don't have yet.
So there's not enough evidence to draw a clear conclusion, in your opinion?
None. And
now, there is some anecdotal evidence, right? There was I believe there was 3 researchers at the Wuhan lab who did get ill with a very similar disease to COVID-19, and one of their spouses wound up dying, and there was some indication that that could have been the initial source.
Yeah, you know, let me first of all just say, in my world, anecdotal evidence is not really evidence. You know, it's not storytelling, but you know, I see.
Dude, I'm so hard right now. I'm so fucking hard. I love that. Oh, you know a guy? Well, I know 10 guys. Okay? Guess what? Anecdotal evidence doesn't work. You can't use that. You can't use that against Michael Osterholm, dude. Oh, you got a buddy? That's cool. I got 10 buddies.
Some of these things, yeah. And, you know, I've never seen any of those data corroborated by any responsible group. It's kind of one-off, you know. It's kind of that whole idea. You know, President Kennedy's secretary was named Lincoln. President Lincoln's secretary was named Kennedy. So there must be a tie between the 2 assassinations. You know, it's that kind of thing.
Yeah.
I've seen nothing that supports that activity at all.
So as a scientist...
Oh, my God. You know what's funny?
Maybe Joe Rogan took down the podcast.
Yeah, Joe Rogan was like, I'm getting fucking cumstered. No, what's funny is first of all, now that he said that, you know there's a group of people in the Joe Rogan experience that just immediately Googled that to be like, what the fuck? That must mean it's true. I don't believe this Michael Osterholm guy about the fucking COVID thing. What if there's actually a fucking connection between the assassinations? He just created new conspiracy theorists with that one. I had not heard that one before, by the way. That's funny.
Scientists, you're just not willing to make that leap.
I'm not willing to make the leap, but I'm willing to make the leap if we get the evidence that it's there. So I'm not sitting here saying, write it off.
Right. I get it.
Yeah.
In the early days, there was some evidence that was deleted. There was a lot of files that were deleted from the Wuhan lab, and that a lot of people pointed to that as being an indicator that they were not just not being transparent, but withholding some data.
Yeah. At this point, I can't comment on that to say.
No, this podcast was not posted before Rogan got radicalized. The original Michael Osterholm podcast was. This is new. This just dropped today. Okay? This just dropped today. And Joseph Robinette Rogan had Michael Osterholm on today. This is new. This is new. This is new.
I know exactly what happened. There surely was some evidence that there had been some files moved or deleted.
Are you bored?
No, I'm having a great time.
Look, you're sitting there like you're sad, like you did something wrong.
No, I'm not. I did earlier, but you missed it. Can I tell you what happened earlier?
No, let's continue with this, and then we'll do that. Okay, let's finish this.
I'm having a good
Also,
time.
there's been evidence that some of those files have been replaced, etc. So I can't comment beyond that. But
Can you plug my
again,
phone in?
the people that I most respect in this business who have concerns like I have not pointed to that as being any evidence necessarily that that's what happened. Was that there was data that they wanted to get rid of so people wouldn't see it.
Right. It's just, again, not enough, right? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. In fact,
Yeah,
I
I'm
wouldn't even
sad.
say
Follow
not
my
enough.
Twitter.
I would say I'm still waiting for even a limited smoking gun to come forward and say that. I just haven't seen
Who
anything
put that
like that.
there?
Austin just kicked my trash can.
Okay.
Not only did he kick my trash can, but then tried to fix it with his foot, spraying trash everywhere. Okay, sure. Well, I was gonna put everything in that trash can into that trash bag and then throw that out. Oh, is it all right? Can I trust you with that down there?
It's okay. My shoes are a bit bigger than I expected.
Yeah, that's.
I'm a selfish, messy top.
You are messy. You are a messy bitch for
I
sure.
am all over fucking.
Okay, dude.
And I'm open to it. I'm willing to it.
So I
I've
am
said
all
time and
horny,
time
I'll be
again, I
honest
wish
with you.
that their Chinese
Maine.
would allow for an exhaustive outside review of what happened there to corroborate all these pieces of information or basically show that they're not true. And I think that would put us all in a better place of trying to move forward.
Is there proof that they deleted evidence?
I don't have any proof of that. I don't know.
You don't know.
Yeah, because they deleted
If
it.
there was proof that a lot of files were deleted, would that give you pause?
Well, I'd want to know why.
I
You know,
love
we
this
delete files
community.
all the time
Thanks for
on
marrying
research
us
things
to
after
the
things are
side.
completed.
Also
Now, on the other
milestone.
hand, laboratories typically are keep everything forever because they may have to go back to it at
Right.
a later date. So, you know, I can't comment on that other than to say that should be pieces of evidence or pieces of investigation that would address that.
Now, one of the things I think that you said early on in the
The fucking delay is insane right now. Wait, is the delay on the stream insane too, or is it just the? Hold on, Austin, clap for a second. Is there a big delay? I can't tell. I think so. Yeah, my mouth is moving afterwards, but the clip is like mega delayed.
the pandemic was you didn't think that it would that it had emerged from a lab. You thought it was a natural spillover, just simply because of the design of the virus itself. That we wouldn't design something like that.
Yeah, and I still say that's
like
the
that.
case. I mean, this thing is so effective at infecting humans, and it only got better over time. Think what it did in Mother Nature since the first Omicron, or since the first variant occurred up to Omicron. And you can see it just got better and better at infecting humans without any hand of a man-made event. And so this thing was an evolving virus right from the start that was basically capable of infecting humans and got better at infecting humans as time went on.
That's
So
really smart.
the accusations, or the people that think that it was made in a lab, how do they think that something like that would be created, and why do you?
Wait, what do you mean the accusations that other people are making about it being in a lab? Like, you motherfucker, you're the one who's making those accusations. What the fuck? Yo, these other people, a buddy of mine made these accusations. Other people, not me, of course. But how would you, he's also, it's pretty funny because he's like also asking Michael Osterholm to steel man his argument by saying it's like other people that are making that argument. But he's like, so if you were to defend that, like it's being made in a lab, like how would you defend that? Like just give me a really solid defense. I won't use it, but
You think that that's not the case?
Well, again, this is out of my sphere of expertise.
Okay.
I'm not the person who can tell you from a genetic standpoint how to manipulate this virus and what to do it. As an epidemiologist, I can tell you, I've seen these other spillover events. I've been very involved with investigating SARS back in 2003 when it first emerged in China, spread around the world. I've been very involved with the work with MERS, the Middle Eastern Respiratory Syndrome, another coronavirus. And in each one of those, you can show clearly the spillover event from animals to humans. In fact, with the camels being the main reservoir for MERS in the Arabian Peninsula, we keep having MERS cases because nobody's going to put down all these camels. We're not going to get rid of them. And so we watch those spillovers occur from time to time into humans. So coronaviruses emerging out of an animal reservoir in of themselves are not unusual. It's not somehow like A plus B plus C plus...
wait, there's more. Let's go.
Well, I know everybody wants me to say today
Keep
we're
up the
done,
good
and
fight,
I hope
Hasan.
we're done.
We are.
But as I said just a moment ago, hope's not a strategy.
Okay, bro, that's the scientist speaking. Okay, don't pull a fucking Joe Rogan over here and be like, we're done. If he doesn't say we're done, we're not done, motherfucker. Okay, that's not how
I
this
think
works.
that we could still see the emergence of new variants that could challenge the immunity that we have already, which is what makes this virus so difficult and so different than what we've had before. When you see influenza, pandemic influenza occurs because a bird virus finally evolves out of the bird, gets into particularly a pig, because a pig has lungs that has receptor cells for both human viruses and bird viruses. And when they get into a pig cell in particular, they combine, they mix up. The flu viruses are very promiscuous, and they come up with this brand new strain that causes the next pandemic. Well, when that spillover occurs into humans, that's kind of the seminal event. The rest of it emerges pretty much in humans. We don't necessarily see us giving it back to the animals. They give it back to us. We give it to the animals. They give it back to us. With looking at SARS-CoV-2 and this particular coronavirus, we don't know what it's going to do. Is it going to go back and forth between animals? I mean, I could line list an entire set of all the animals that are now infected with this virus, and we don't know what that means.
The first ones that we found that transmit from humans to animals, or back to in terms of SARS-CoV-2, was it ferrets? Like, what was the first animal that they discovered that humans can infect, and they can infect us with this?
Oh,
Well, there was game animals, mink and so forth in Europe that we saw that. But it became clear because we started seeing zoo animals
I was going to say
infected.
Brooklyn Zoo, right? The tigers.
Just this past week, we've heard about lowland
Cats
gorillas.
and stuff.
Cats.
Yeah.
We've seen dogs and cats in people's homes where there were cases. And they got the white-tailed deer. I think there's a whole number of animal species where ultimately they could be infected with this virus. And the trillion-dollar question we don't know, will that in any way, shape, or form contribute to a spillback moment into humans with a new virus?
What's Joe Rogan's, what's his fucking Reddit saying about this? I'm sure his subreddit actually would celebrate this moment because, like, it's actually finally a fucking instance where Joe's not, like, exclusively promoting anti-vaxxer and, like, psychotic fucking misinformation. But ignored. It was deleted. No, I'm sure they'll post again. No, the Joe Rogan subreddit actually likes, the Joe Rogan subreddit hates Rogan being fucking an anti-vaxxer. So they will be appreciative of this probably. Regardless of what you think of this guy, I have praise for Joe for giving his promise of inviting people from both sides that made the show so good in the past. Definitely, like he said, he's sticking to his word, but it did unfortunately take a pretty huge public blowback and almost certainly a ton of pressure from above for this basic level of balance consideration to happen. Yeah, this is a pretty solid answer here. I would hope someone with his power to influence would at least be better in tune to what even his own listeners have been aggressively pointing out for almost 2 years.
Again, will challenge our immune systems, challenge our protection, and what does that mean? And we just don't know.
Is that the term they use, or animal reservoir?
Yes, absolutely. That's it.
So that's
Subreddit has turned back to the hogs in the past week or two with the whole racism row. They are filled with psychos now. Oh, really? Oh, right-wing grifters flooded the subreddit to like defend Rogan. Got it. That's great.
any other animal that can catch it.
No, I didn't get COVID. I got three.
Well, catch it and keep it going inside them. So if sometimes.
By the way, I don't mean this is anything, but like if you're bored, I don't want to keep you here.
Well, we got to go to dinner together.
Well, I mean, that's like later, right?
It's in like. See, you may be streaming during it.
Wait, what?
Maybe streaming during it. Well, what I'm saying is, I don't want you to. I'll tell you what time it's at, but I don't want you to have to.
All right, we weren't doing anything. We weren't doing secret memes.
An animal may get an infection from us and it's terminal. It ends. It doesn't keep going in the animal population. But as we just talked about the white-tailed deer, clearly there the virus is ongoing with transmission in the deer population itself.
Are there any examples of an animal being infected and then, like from a human, like a human giving it to their cat, for instance?
Do you see that too? Austin hasn't taken a phone call in like an hour. Is his phone working?
No, I was just about to create a phone call that I needed to take.
Wait, really?
No, I don't have any phone calls. My show was yesterday. Phone calls start about 4 or 5 days before the show.
And then the cat giving it to another human?
It's unclear. And when I say unclear, there was surely some data looking at the game farms where it was thought that some of the transmission was from human to animal, animal back to human.
When you say game farms, are you talking about like captive COVID?
In this case,
rather?
In this case, what we're talking about are primarily fur-bearing animals for pelts. The mink, the ferrets, that type of animal species.
So that's where they first started to see the transmission?
It's suspected. It's never been confirmed, but it's been suspected there. There's been some discussion and follow-up on people's homes where somebody got infected, the animal was infected, the dog or the cat, and somebody else got infected in the home. Well, it could just easily have been person to person, and the animal was incidental. So I don't think we have any good examples of a human to an animal.
Okay, this one's boring because it's just like animal variants, which is fine. Cancer vaccine. Okay, so is there more?
Cool. Is there
there is the vaccine.
One of the
mRNA vaccine is the technology of the mRNA vaccine is so valuable and so incredible that it's actually currently in clinical trial stages for curing HIV.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
And cancer as well, potentially.
The areas you're going to see a lot of work coming out in the near term is on cancer. Cancer vaccines, I think, have a huge future.
What is this background noise?
Because you can detect those cells that are just starting to emerge that are cancerous. Let your immune system clear them out.
So what kind of work is being done right now on cancer vaccines?
Oh, a lot of
How
work.
does that? was it an mRNA platform?
Well, that's how mRNA's got all their initial research effort was for cancer vaccines.
Why is there background
6
music?
months. Legs go.
That's how the first real efforts were put into place by the NIH on these vaccines. And I think that one of the things, particularly for people who have specific risk factors, genetically, they're predisposed to breast cancer, they're predisposed to these things. If you could pick up certain changes in the cells that indicate this is a precancerous cell or an early cancer cell, imagine if you had a specific, kind of police officer in your body that could help identify that and take it out.
So a general
can we get
immune system
vaccinated
response
for every
is not
cancer?
enough. It has to be a specific immune system response for something that you're looking for. Like
To make it most effective. Right.
Make it most
Yeah.
I mean, potentially. I know that there's like a lung cancer vaccine in Cuba that's pretty effective. So,
This cheesy music Lamau.
such treatments already exist.
God damn it. God damn.
Yeah, what the fuck is this?
When you look at these cancer vaccines, how far off are they from being deployed?
Well, it's not somebody in the cancer area, but only familiar with the work that's going on. From my colleagues in the cancer side of the house, they seem, it's still early, but it surely has a potential future.
Never mind, he said it. That's why we were able to use the mRNA for COVID so far, because we were already studying it for cancer and AIDS, HIV. And actually, the HIV version of it has already been has already moved on to clinical trial stages. I talked about this a couple weeks ago. What is this? Pogo? I saw this already. Yeah, Cussy. Loodle had Cussy. So these were some of the 2 years ago when Michael Osterholm was first on. These were some of the takes that he had. Okay, these are some of the predictions that he had. Just at the beginning of the virus, it'll be 10 to 15 times worse than the flu. Based on the data so far, estimate that there will be 48 million hospitalizations, 96 million cases, over 480,000 deaths in America. He was wrong. It was much worse than that. It will go for at least 36 months. He was wrong. Fucking 2 years now. Going strong, baby. Smoking, obesity, and high blood pressure increase risk. He was totally right on that. Number of cases seem to double every 4 days. Much more than that. In the first hours of contracting, there are incredibly high levels of the virus, making you infectious before any symptoms show. Kids are not getting sick from it. In China, only 2% are under the age of 18. 30% of nurses in America have kids. Who's going to look after them if they close schools? 1/4 of Americans don't have sick leave. 690,000 Americans have end-stage renal disease, get their drugs from China. Most of the drugs come from China. No evidence that this is a bioweapon. No evidence the virus is seasonal. Influenza transmission is like trying to stop the wind. Isolation won't stop it, only a vaccine. No data, anything can... I mean, technically, this is not wrong. I mean, this is not right either. Because there were countries that were able to do COVID zero. But it's pretty impossible to fucking continue going COVID zero. Because, I mean, look at Australia. These were Michael Osterholm's early ass takes from 2 fucking years ago. When Michael Osterholm went on the Joe Rogan Experience 2 years ago, these were all of his predictions. A lot of them came true. Some of them he underestimated. Okay. Anyway, when a libertarian runs your state, Governor Jared Polis just said on ETH Denver stage that Colorado will become the first state to accept cryptocurrencies for payment of state tax and fees. Oh my God, stop. Okay, hand sanitizers give or stopping a lot of infectious diseases, but weak evidence that this virus will be transmitted that way through hands and face, but should still use it. People want to feel like they're doing something by washing their hands. The data says it's transmitted by breathing. Oh my God, that was the most right thing, dude. We thought there was like serious fomite transmission in the beginning. Remember when people were like, clean your groceries, shit like that?
Yeah.
That was all, just, you know, that was not real. That was not real at all. I mean, that's crazy. Surgical masks not effective at all from stopping the virus from getting in. They were made for stopping bugs going out. N95 respirator masks are effective. Oh my God. Oh my God. That's fucking crazy. That's crazy.
2 years of COVID and 2 years of HasanAbi Pog.
Was so fucking aggro. Over 4,000 health workers in China infected. We have to protect our health workers. They are on the front line who cannot be they cannot be replaced. There might have been a vaccine for coronavirus after SARS and MERS in 2003. Everyone continued to find a vaccine, but after it went away, nobody had interest. He did a briefing with over 400 major financial advisors around the world. They reminded him of a scared child. He's worried for the market. No plans in place again for this virus. Have to prioritize a vaccine. He predicted in his book that a virus would come out of China because of the large population of food supply that is largely wildlife that comes into markets, close contact with animals, bugs on animals. China has been a bacterial and viral soup vessel for a long time. A vaccine will most likely take years. There was an antibody-dependent enhancement component to SARS. A little bit of the antibody actually made you more sick. Wow. Mask mandates are lame, though. The gym is more important to me. Yes, this is true. I know you're making fun of me, but I agree.